Amy from Doodle Dog Primitives. I used to use a lot of paint when I was trying to get a distressed look on primitive wood project. I painted on a solid base color, then I painted on a solid top coat. This resulted in a lot of sanding trying to get the primitive look that I wanted. And then I was visiting my mom, and I saw how she was getting a distressed look on her wooden projects, and she was hardly having to sand at all. Today I'm going to show you an easy way to achieve this distressed primitive look on your wood projects. Let's get started. I came across this wooden oval box at a flea market, and I'm going to paint it with a distressed look to make it look like an old pantry box, and then I will put it in my stack of pantry boxes. I'm going to use two different colors. I have a base coat, which I'm going to make black, and then a top coat, which I'm going to make a colonial red. And I have a rag that I'm going to use, and my paintbrush. And the paintbrush is very important. You need a paintbrush that's somewhat stiff. You don't want it to be real soft and floppy, or this won't work very well. So you want a somewhat stiff of a paintbrush. So I'm going to take my dry brush and I'm going to dip it into the paint and just get a tiny bit of paint on the brush. I'm going to dab some of the paint off onto my paper towel, then just lightly brush the paint. I don't want to cover the whole thing. Just want to be a hint of color on there. You want to paint with the grain of the wood. And I'll do the same thing on the bottom of the box. You can see here when I first put the brush down, I forgot to dab the paint off and it made a pretty dark spot. But I've been able to spread that out pretty good. I'm going to let these dry, and I'm going to clean out my paintbrush really good and let it dry also. The paint is dry, so now I'm going to do the same process with my top coat of paint. Using a dry brush and dabbing the brush before you put it on the wood lets you create a very light coat, which will result in a lot less sanding when you're done. You can see as I'm going along that a lot of the black is still showing through, as well as the original color. I'm going to let this dry and then we will come back and do a little sanding. The paint on the box is dry now, so I'm going to take some medium grit sandpaper and sand on the box a little bit. I'm using 180 grit sandpaper. I'm just going to lightly sand. I want to get rid of any brush strokes that might be there and just sand it out so it looks worn in the places where it would be worn. You can see here I've sanded this but not this, and how it kind of just smooths paint all out and makes it look worn everywhere. I'm finished sanding now, and my final step is going to be to put a coat of finishing wax on it. I like to use the Johnson's paste wax if the color is the way I want it. It's just a clear wax. But if I want it to have a little bit of a darker look, I like to use this cottage paint wax or Minwax Special Dark, and it gives it a darker look. Today I'm going to use the cottage wax. So I'm going to just dip a rag into the wax and then spread it onto the box. The wax helps protect the finish of the box as well as giving it a more antiqued look. Then I'm going to take another rag and gently buff the wax. Now I will let that dry. The box is dry now and it's all finished. I hope these tips will also keep you from having to do way too much sanding. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye!